Hi guys, so we are in the topic of accent Setzung, and now our next subtopic is going to be the prefixes, the Prefixes. Now you might have already seen for various verbs, especially the verbs in German, there are sometimes prefixes that we separate, which are called separable prefixes, trennbare Prefixes, and sometimes they are not separable, untrennbare Prefixes. And the way you pronounce a word that has such suffixes is different, and that's why you must pay attention to this particular concept. Let's take a look at the trennbare Prefixes first, the separable prefixes. And so we have a first example over here. This verb should be pronounced as anrufen, la la la. What happens is, whenever it's a trennbares verb, the separable prefix needs to be stressed. It needs to be spoken out loudly. It needs to be more enunciated as compared to the rest of the verb. So the infinitive form would be pronounced as anrufen, la la la. And not just in the infinitive, even when you use it in a sentence, make sure that you say the prefix loud and clear. So if you use anrufen in a sentence, it would be ich rufe dich an, la 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 la. Don't let it trail off saying ich rufe dich an, like that, which might happen in day-to-day language, but remember, actually speaking, the an should be stressed out. Now the same thing applies to the noun forms of these words. For example, anrufen is the verb, anruf is the noun. Again, the an remains stressed. So say after me, anrufen. Ich rufe dich an. Or the noun form, anruf. And even the partizip form would be angerufen, la 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 la. And that's where the music of the language starts coming. Let's take a look at another example. This would be vorbereiten. Once again, vorbereiten. Ich bereite mich vor, la 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 la. Or even in the noun form, it would be Vorbereitung. Don't say Vorbereitung, which we will instinctively try to pronounce it in that way, but that doesn't sound quite right. In fact, it can sometimes be disturbing to the ear when there are long words spoken without any intonation like that. So make sure that you always say Vorbereiten. The next one would be Ein Laden. Once again, Ein Laden. Ich lade dich ein. Ich habe dich eingeladen. Or in the noun form, it would be Einladung. Another example would be aufräumen. Once again, aufräumen. Ich räume das Zimmer auf. Ich räume das Zimmer auf. Aufgeräumt. Ich habe das Zimmer aufgeräumt. So that's about the trennbare Verben, where we stress the prefix, the trennbares prefix. Coming to the nicht trennbare Verben, the prefixes that we don't separate, they are not stressed. That's the first example. The verb would be besuchen, la la la, because even without the prefix, it is a verb, suchen, and when you add a be to it, which is not separable, that is never stressed. So that's how you differentiate between the separable and the not separable verbs. Repeat after me. Besuchen. la la la. And this remains whether it is a participle of the verb, as in this case it would be besucht. Ich habe dich besucht. Or even in the noun form, which would be der Besuch, la la. So the same principle applies everywhere. That's why once you learn this concept that a non-separable verb will always, like the prefix will never be stressed. Once you know this, no matter what form of the verb you see, you know what to do. Let's take a look at another example. A slightly longish word, but we learn it fairly early. This is entschuldigen. So the moment you identify the prefix, stress the part that comes after it. So it would be entschuldigen. Once again, entschuldigen. The next one would be erklären. La la la. Erklären. Er as a prefix is never stressed. In same way in the noun, it would be Erklärung and not Erklärung, not flat, rather Erklärung. The next would be verkaufen. La la la. Now this is interesting because the word kaufen has multiple, we add different prefixes and it becomes a different verb. So simply without any prefix, the verb is kaufen. You add this particular prefix, it becomes verkaufen, la la la. And you can add a separable prefix to it, which becomes einkaufen, la la la. Okay, so practice it this way. Say after me, verkaufen, verkauft. The next one would be zerstören. Again, zerstören. Or the final one, zerbrechen, la la la. So in this particular case, we have seen a few prefixes that are not separable. Generally, it's best to learn them as a group, and the prefixes would be be, ent, er, ver, zer. Be, ent, er, ver, zer. There are a few more prefixes that are not separable, but I'm not going to go into them right now. If you see any verb that is not separable but which has a prefix, for example this one, you remember that the prefix is not to be stressed. So how will you pronounce this word? It will be übersetzen. Okay, über functions here as a prefix which is not separable, so we don't stress it. We put the stress on setzen. So it will be übersetzen. And in all forms of the verb, it will be like this. For example, noun would be Übersetzung. Okay, so that's it about the prefixes. I'll see you in the next video.